Hi, everybody. So, okay. Um, I got to stay in a hotel last night. It was, so it's interesting. I have been staying at Motel 6 now for a few months. It's an inexpensive, decent place to stay. And the first place that I was staying at was in an area that I thought God wanted me to be in. Now looking back, there occurred a situation, and because of that, I was no longer able to go to that Motel 6. But it was a sole proprietorship. With the things that I have learned, that the way that God has brought me through this period of time, I have found that there are reasons why He has me go to certain places, certain things that He allows to happen. And in the moment, I fret because, it's human. But Lucifer also uses that opportunity to bring doubt, to cause you um, not to be firm or sure of what you're hearing God tell you to do. And I recorded a video last night, but they was for my eyes only. Thank goodness. Because if you guys have seen the video, you it definitely would have ruffled some feathers because God had led me to buy a bottle of wine, so I was a little tipsy, and then He had me put on a face mask, and it made me realize the pressure that I was feeling earlier in the day. It happened suddenly. I was enjoying my day. I was at the park, and I remember that when things are about to change dramatically, I always feel this way. The last time this happened, I moved to California. The last time that happened, I moved out of my uncle's place and I moved into an apartment. The last time that happened, I moved out of my apartment and I ended up stranded for 5 weeks. And then I, of course, left my job, got a new job, and I began this section of it, of the experience. Today, God showed me. So He's been telling me that my life is like a movie or a play, a screenplay. And every movie, every play has scenes. And you have like the beginning, the beginning where you see the things that are going to happen, and then in the second part, it starts to unravel. Everything falls apart. Everything looks like there's no chance of anything going in the direction of the hero of the story or the main character. And then part 3 or act 3. This is the culmination, the climax, where things look even worse than they would have in the beginning. It looks like everything is going against this individual, this main character. But it gets to a pinnacle, like a tipping point. And then at that tipping point, everything begins to fall in line for the main character. The lies and the cheating gets found out, and the main character is vindicated. Now, Father is showing me that I kept seeing the number one. And then I started seeing the number 2. And he was showing me 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1 is the countdown. We all know that. But 1, 2, 3, for me, it's Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. And he showed me today that he showed me an ace. I was like, and then I heard ace in the hand. Ace in the hand. I'm like, that's a poker term. Like, I don't know really what it means, so I looked it up. Turns out, an ace in the hand is when a player has a maneuver, an action to take that is in their favor. And I was like, what? And God said, you're my ace. And I was like, what? So last night he led me to do something, to post something. And okay, so let me go back to going to Motel 6. All of a sudden, I started to feel dread. Like, I'm going to get there and they're going to turn me away. They're not going to let me in. They're going to complain about my dog. So I started to feel this, like, unexplainable urge to want to run away. And I'm like, Father, I know this isn't you because you had me do this like weeks ago or days ago. And he goes, the opposition I was feeling was just like, okay. And then I get there. So then he leads me to go and buy the bottle of wine, which I didn't want to go get. Again, I was like, I don't want to. I don't really want to do this. I don't want to. I got to go to work tomorrow. And then, but as I did the things that he wanted me to do, I felt a release. The pressure was gone. And so I did not know the next thing he was going to have me do. And I'm sorry. I know I'm yawning a lot. I have found that whenever there is a word that is going to take away the strength of Lucifer, that is going to give freedom or the opportunity for someone to see the light, he starts to make me feel tired. He starts to make me feel, and it's also the sign of witchcraft. So I don't like calling her the counterfeit, but the woman who is in a position that she shouldn't be in. She is doing everything that she can to prevent the man that she wants to hold on to, that isn't meant for her, and she knows he's not meant for her. She is doing everything in her power to keep him tied to her, to keep him submitted to her. And I have prayed, and I have prayed. And every once in a while, I check with God if this is who He still has for me. Or is He even the one that He has for me? Because there are people God has me pray for, but that doesn't mean they belong with me. They, you know, I don't want to hold on to something that I'm not meant to hold on to. And so I have continued praying, and I have continued covering this man in prayer. And God has shown me many times over that He and I are meant to be together. There is just something that happens that, so anyway, so yesterday I get into the hotel. The young woman who checked me in recognized me. And she was like, "Oh, welcome back." You know, I asked, I said, she says, "Are you okay with the corner room?" And I said, "Is it the one on the end?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I was hoping and praying that it was open." And she goes, "Yeah, it's open." So the number of the room is 146. When you add up those numbers, it makes the number 11, the gate. So I've been at the gate. I've been at the gate. I've been at the gate. I go and I stay at the gate. And it's been happening supernaturally. Because the last time I went there, it was available at 2 o'clock in the morning. And the young man that I mean, if you think of, so my check didn't come in like normal. It came in at 2 in the morning, 1:58. They had charged me the stay. I had, for whatever reason, I had booked the stay for Thursday, which I thought I had canceled that stay and made it for only Friday. But it turns out I didn't. So they ended up charging me for the night. But I didn't have enough money in the account because my check didn't come in. So I had to call the hotel because God led me to call the hotel. And I talked to the girl and I was like, "Hey, my check didn't come in like it was supposed to, but it'll be there at 10 o'clock at night." And she goes, "Okay, well, I'll reset it." And I said, "Well," she goes, "I'm going to reset it and I'm going to put that you'll be here by 1." And I'm like, "Ooh, can you make it by 5 just in case?" And she goes, "Well, if you're not here by 4 in the morning, you don't think you'll get your check by 4?" And I'm like, "I don't know." I said, "The last time this happened to me, it ended up coming in at 5 in the morning the next day." And she goes, "Okay, well, if it doesn't come in, it's going to charge you the night at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you'll have to make another reservation." And I'm like, "Okay, but it's still going to charge you for the night." And I'm like, "That's fine. I don't mind paying for the night, even if I'm only there for a couple of hours." Meaning, before I have to get up and, because I had already booked Friday through Monday. So I'm repeating. I'm repeating. The reversal of the reversal. Anyway, so that happened the night before. I've never, ever, 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 in all the months I've been staying at this hotel, I have never heard a train before. I was in a parking lot at Walmart in the town that God was going to have me stay at the hotel, because it's a different town from the one I was in before, from where I stay every night. And then I'm completely out, like I'm asleep, and I hear a horn, and I'm like, huh? Because it's a horn of a train, but it's a loud horn, and I'm like, I'm trying to wrap my brain around the sound, and I'm asking God at the same time. I'm like, why do I hear a train, Father? And I said, and why does the train say, wake up? I swear, the horn was saying, wake up, wake up. And so I did. I woke up. It was 2:02 on my phone. And I looked, and the money had come in at 1:58 in the morning. I heard the horn at 2 o'clock in the morning. But it took me 2 minutes to get up and awake. And when I saw that the train had gotten there, or I saw that the money was in my account, I was like, oh my gosh. So I, took down all my shades and I drove to the hotel. I get there and there's a little clock that says we'll return at 2:20. And I looked at it and I was like, oh man. And then God led me to look at my phone. It was 2:24. And I'm like, hey, that's just 2:20. I'm like, where is he? Or where is she? And then again, there was a doorbell. So I rang the doorbell, nothing. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to wait whatever amount of time it takes. And then it was 2:30 and God said, ring the doorbell again. So I did. I rang the doorbell. Finally, the guy that was there for the night came around the corner and I'm like, hi, I know I was supposed to be here earlier, but my money finally showed up on my account. And he's like, oh yeah, I've had that happen before. If the manager puts in your payroll late and then you get your check late. I'm like, that must have happened because I worked, past midnight. And then now he's like, yeah, that happens because they have to calculate the hours. And I'm like, yeah, that's not fun. So I get into the hotel room and I heard the horn again. Now, I've been staying in this hotel for months. I've never heard ever the horn of a train. And I've stayed in hotels that are close to the train tracks. I used to sleep on the road across the street from where I worked in California in 7-Eleven. And the train would pass right behind me and I could hear it. I could feel it too because we were that close to the train tracks. And when that happened, shortly after, I was there for, it was December, January, February, March, April, and May. I was there till May. Well, till April because really May 1st I was in this, where I am now. And then God didn't let me go back. He let me go back just to get my check, but he didn't let me go back. He's like, no, you're done. I'm like, okay. All right. So yesterday, I'm in the hotel. I'm drinking my wine. And God leads me to post a song by Taylor Swift, Back to December. And I was just going to leave it at that. And God said, isn't there a night that you regret? I'm like, yes, but if I write that, he's going to know. And I'm like, I hesitated because I'm like, Father, this is like, this is me putting myself out there. And he goes, I know. I'm like, but it's basically me telling him I'm in love with him. And I'm like, that's a leap of faith. That's a huge leap. And it's actually in the song. Or no, not that song. It's in a different song. But I'm like, that's a huge leap of faith. Like, that's huge. He's like, I know. So take the leap. Okay. And then, so I put the words that he wanted me to put in there, and I waited. I didn't push post right away. I'm like, and then God asked me, what are you afraid of? That he's gonna see this and unfriend me? Then you've got your answer. That he's gonna see this and run away? Then you've got your answer. That he's gonna see this and he's gonna write me and say, stop it? Then you've got your answer. And I'm like, why do I need to put myself out there like this? I mean, if this is you, and you know, and he's like, because obedience without faith is dead. I was like, are you going to be obedient, or are you going to walk away? You have free will. I know I have free will. I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't care what it makes me look like. If he thinks I'm stalking him, if he thinks that there is a reason why you are having me do it this way. Because you're going to work on him because of his reaction to me. Like you've done everything else. Okay. So I hit post. Right after I posted that, probably an hour or two later, he posted pictures of his son. And God led me to say something. Two other individuals had also said something, but he didn't like what I said. He liked what they said. And I freaked out. I went to God and I'm like, why didn't he say anything? Why didn't he like what I said? And God told me, how do you feel every time I have you do something public for him? Like he's gonna know everything. I feel that he's gonna know everything. And he goes, that's right. So if he likes your post, what's gonna happen? He's afraid that everyone's gonna see right through him. Not everyone. Just you. And I'm like, and you guys don't know me, like the kind of person that I am. I'm a very, 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 very private person. I do not like putting myself out there. I do not like putting my life out there. What I'm doing right now is so not my character. I would swallow my feelings before sharing them with anyone. And God is putting my out there. Like he's got me doing these videos, telling you guys everything about my life. He's got me telling things that I would normally keep to myself. And he's got me sharing them. And honestly, what I share, I receive blessings for it. So when I'm obedient, I receive good things. And I know what it's like when I'm not obedient because I've gone through that too. I mean, and even sharing this much information, I was not planning on it. But God is leading me to. He's pushing me to show what He's doing behind the scenes. He wants to show that sometimes when you think it's not Him, it is Him. Even in the things that go wrong, it's still Him. It's still Him leading you. And there's been a shift. And I felt it. And now I'm seeing the shift. Do you guys remember when I was at a few videos ago and I said that I woke up and I felt a shift, a big shift, and then I felt a smaller shift? I'm now seeing those shifts in my natural life. You know, I went into work on Wednesday and I expected to be treated the exact same way I've always been treated. I get there and they're like all the girls that don't like me, the girls that give me a hard time, the girls that pretend to be my friends or pretend to be nice to me. Every single one of them was like, you're not going to have to make boxes today. You're set. You're good. You don't have to do anything. And I was like, okay. All right. No problem. And I said, if I do have to make boxes, that's okay too. They're like, no, you won't have to. You don't have to do anything. And then the boss is on his hands and knees cleaning the floor. And I was like, okay. So, and I was like, I had to go past him to go get food off the counter so I could take it to the people that had ordered it. And I'm like, excuse me. And he goes, just walk over me. And I was like, you do realize that I have small legs, right? And that if I try to go around over you, I'm going to step on you. I said, I don't want to step on you. He's like, well, go behind me. And I was just like flabbergasted. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is not okay. This is not usual. Like, I'm used to being treated differently. I'm used to being put down. I mean, even though they don't say what they feel, I can feel what they feel. You know, I can pick up the feelings of animosity, the feelings of disdain. And what I felt that day was almost like even they didn't understand why they were being so nice to me. Like, genuinely nice. And this boss, I mean, he has his favorites. And for the first time ever, he made a comment to me that this woman thinks that he'll do whatever she wants, but she's wrong. Her privileges have ended. And I was just like, huh? Why are you telling me? Like, I don't care. I don't, I don't want to. Sorry, guys. There's a little puppy. He's running around because his mama left him off his leash. And he's just running around like a crazy boy. Just free as a bird. Oh, doggies are so good. And I was just flabbergasted. Like, this is all, like, I feel like I'm in a third dimension or something. Like, where's the camera? And then when I get to the Motel 6 yesterday, and they're just smiling. And, okay, so they welcome me back, and I walk into the hotel room. And it smells nice. I was like, what? And Father said they prepared the room for you. But I'm like, I'm floored, Father. Like, this is, wow. And he goes, I know. This is a different kind of treatment. And so I thought I had the hotel booked for the whole weekend. Turns out it's a different hotel that I booked for the weekend because that hotel that I like going to is booked. So I have to go stay at a different hotel. And it's all, oh my gosh, it's all part of it. So the hotel that I'm at is on the south side of the road. I'm going to go stay at the north side of the hotel, the north side hotel. And God has been showing me my star. Like when I get out of work, it's right above me. And I'm like, Father, why is my star right above me? He goes, because it's showing the way. I'm like, what? Showing the way where? He goes, to you. I'm like, oh, okay. That's, wow, okay, okay. And then, as I'm driving to this park that I'm at, I'm in a new park. And I had no idea that I was going to be here. I had no idea. None. But I went to the park that I always go to, and there was somebody parked in my spot, and I kid you not, as I'm about to park next to the car that's parked in my spot, and I call it my spot because God showed me this is your spot. And I'm like, okay. Another car got in, and I was like, of all the nerve. And God goes, because I don't want you here. He goes, I want you going this way. I'm like, okay, I'll go that way. So then I see a car that has my nickname on it, and it has Route 66. And I don't know if you guys know what Route 66, that like the there's a name for it, and it's called the Mother Road. And they call it the Mother Road because it was the first road that was made from the East Coast to the West Coast. It's the only road that goes all the way through. And God showed me that that's part of my territory. And anyway, so as I'm coming this way, he shows me the Mother Road, and he shows me my nickname. And I was like, okay. And there are no coincidences, okay? So bear with me. So this car is a BMW. And it's got the Mother Road, and it's got my nickname on it. And it turns to the right on 16th Street. My birthday is the 16th. And then I'm driving ahead, and I'm going, like my mind is just racing. I'm like,